The newsday continues here on One News Now. I'm Riza Diaz. Presidential bet Senator Panfilo Lacson and his running mate, Senate President Tito Sotto, continue to visit several areas to woo voters. For details, we have with us Mean Los Baños. She's reporting to us live from Nueva Ecija. Mean, good evening. Can you tell us how is the campaign going for this tandem so far?
Hi Riza, good evening. It was a jam-packed schedule for the Lacson-Sotto tandem as they held town hall meetings in both provinces of Pangasinan and here in Nueva Ecija. The two held a dialogue with around 400 tricycle drivers and operators in Pangasinan who struggle with high prices of fuel. Lacson vowed to provide ayuda to the public transport sector should he win with the presidency. But he noted that the distribution should be monitored closely to make sure that the funds will really go to the drivers. The Lacson-Sotto tandem is hoping that they can secure votes in the province, although Lacson admitted that Ilocano-speaking provinces tend to support Ilocano bets. But the presidential bet was surprised to see warm response from Pangasinenses this morning. Over here in Santa Rosa, Nueva Ecija, Riza, the tandem is now actually meeting with around 1,200 farmers who are facing agricultural problems. Lacson said if he is elected president, he plans to review the rice tariffication law to know if there is really a need to amend or repeal it. He explained that they voted in favor of the law because they were promised that prices of rice would be reduced. But that's not the case now, as the senator explained that machineries for agriculture that were bought were either overpriced or substandard. Riza, the Lacson-Sotto tandem adds that they will study if there is a need to increase the budget overall for the agricultural sector, but Senator Lacson said that the implementation of projects must be addressed first since it is the source of problems, according to him. Riza?
Thank you for that update and stay safe. That's Man Los Baños reporting live from Nueva Ecija. Meanwhile, the camp of Bongbong Marcos says the presidential bet is not avoiding handshakes. Spokesperson Vic Rodriguez explained that Marcos is just protecting his wounded hand, which now appears to be infected. With this, Rodriguez is calling for public understanding and appealed to Marcos supporters to refrain from touching his hands. The remark came after Marcos was caught in a video avoiding handshakes during one of the campaign caravans of the UNI team. We'll be back with more stories after the break. Keep it here on One News. watching One News Now. I'm Riza Diaz. Russia allegedly launched widespread cyber attacks against Ukraine, hitting multiple government websites and banking systems. How does this affect the escalating tension between the two countries? An expert tells us in this video.
The dangers are really multifold. So, for example, what we're seeing from the Russian cyber capability right now in Ukraine is that they are doing a lot of information operations, meaning it's not just the DDoS attacks on the banks that you mentioned, but it's an SMS text spam. So people are getting messages on their phone saying the banks are down, the banks don't have, the website is down, which causes people to have more fear, more uncertainty. And that's part of the game as well, is making sure they can get into the head of their targets. So a lot of the talk of what President Biden just talked about with, putting out fake news about genocide or other fabrications, really the point behind them is to justify and put a false justification of war, but also to seed doubt and fear into their targets, the Ukrainian people who want to still have confidence that their government can protect them.
So what is your reaction to what President Biden just said, that he believes that President Putin has decided he's going to invade Ukraine physically? What does that mean for the digital front lines?
Well, cyber defenders around the world are paying attention now. And if anything good has come from the many years of Russian cyber aggressions, it's this. We know a lot about their threat actors. We know a lot about their tactics, their techniques, their procedures, and we're going to need to use them now to make sure that we are prepared. What that means for businesses is that this is the time to make sure that they have all of their hardening procedures done, that they're not low-hanging fruit for a possible Russian action.
What kind of attacks are you seeing directed against the United States in particular, and what sectors are you most concerned about?
Right now, from our perspective, we haven't seen any direct action against U.S. targets. But what we're seeing is sort of the usual activity that we've been seeing way before this incident, which is Russian threat actors who are actually continuing to conduct espionage, or even through supply chain, just poking around and doing the work that they do, possibly to stage, but also just putting more in place in the event that they want to take action. And that's something we need to be paying attention to.
If Russia invades Ukraine and then the U.S. retaliates, how might that impact Russian attacks on the United States by both state-sponsored hackers and criminal ones?
We can anticipate higher risk of cyber actions against the United States if we were to deploy sanctions as a retaliatory measure. But really what we need to do is prepare at this point and not panic. This isn't a panic moment, it's a mission moment. Cyber defenders know what to do, and they need to go ahead and start doing them. What we are really concerned about is Russian aggressors using the software supply chain to make scaled attacks across, something like what we saw with NotPetya. But those things are cyber actions that we can mitigate, we can detect them, and that's what cyber defenders need to be doing right now.
Let's now take a quick look at today's other top stories. Russia has launched exercises among nuclear missile forces amid heightened tensions with the U.S. over Ukraine. Moscow says they successfully launch hypersonic and cruise missiles at the sea and land-based targets during the drills. The Finance Department reports 118.9 billion pesos spending on efforts to contain the spread of COVID-19 as of June 2021. Over 76 billion pesos of which came from funds of LGUs, while some 35 billion was from the Bayanihan grant under the national budget. And two sisters of arrested community doctor Maria Natividad Castro were finally able to spend time with her in Agusan del Sur, where she is currently locked up. The Free Legal Assistance Group says they will pursue all legal remedies to secure Castro's immediate release. For more updates, visit News 5, The Philippine Star, and Business World Online. Visit our website, onenews.ph, for more in-depth analysis. You can also catch One News on Signal Play app. Register for a free account now at www.signalplay.com and stream One News live anytime, anywhere. I'm Riza Diaz. Mask on, wash hands, and stay safe, Philippines. We are One News.